Hi y'all, welcome back to the Southern Charm Wreath page. I am Laurie, a design coach here in the Southern Charm Wreath community, as well as the community manager. Today we're going to be making a fall hydrangea wreath. I'm super excited about it. I love the vibrant colors of fall, and these are going to be the traditional colors that you see. Let's get started. I'm going to show you what I'm working with. So these are going to be some gorgeous hydrangeas, fall hydrangeas that we're working with. Hi, designed by Jenny. Thank you for joining me. I'm glad you're here. We're going to be working with some hydrangeas. We have a little bit of filler flower right here. These are, this is it looks like a somewhat of a daisy sunflower combination, right? This is our filler flower. I have some fall greenery we're going to be incorporating. This is eucalyptus. I have some leafed eucalyptus that we will be incorporating in. Let's see. I have some fall leaves that we're going to be working with. And I have some greenery. I have some eucalyptus greenery right here. And then I have some greenery right here. Now, the green in this design is somewhat of an olive looking green. I am going with the colors that are in my arrangement. In my hydrangeas, that's what determines my greenery color. In other words, it's an olive green. It's not a blue green or a yellow green. It's more muted and olive looking. We also have some ribbon that I'm going to be working with. And these are going to be the 4 ribbons that we will be working with. Okay? Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, I hope you're having a good day. Comment below and tell me where you're from and how you are doing today. All right, we're going to be working with a 16-inch grapevine wreath, okay? I'm going to pull you down. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to make the bow to prep this grapevine. All right, here we go. Let's see. That should be good enough for you. All right, I'm going to put a bow here at the top. Let's see if I can get you moved out a little bit further. There we go. You can see the whole thing. I'm going to be working with a 16-inch grapevine wreath, and I'm going to put a bow at the top. So this is going to be a crescent shape, but it is going to fall down. It's going to come down to the bottom. I want to explain to you real quick that it's always really good, let me pull you in, to look at your grapevine. I have cleaned it up the best I could, but I want to show you something on this grapevine. You see this twig piece right here that was broken? Originally, it looked better with the broken piece down at the bottom. The shape of the grapevine looked so much better, right? But I don't want this bottom broken vine that I cannot remove to be seen. So I chose to put it up at the top to where my design is going to be, and this broken vine right here is not going to be seen. Right? My elements are going to cover this up. The next thing is these hydrangeas, you have to think about the size of the elements you're using. These hydrangeas are very big, right? And I'm probably going to cut them down a little bit, but still, they're big and they're wide, okay? And I don't want my bow for this large floral head to get lost, right, behind this hydrangea. So in this incident, I'm going to take a small piece of styrofoam. It is 2 inches by 1 inch. by 1 inch thick. And I'm going to put it right up here at the top. And this is where I'm going to put my bow. That way my bow will stand out or come off of the actual base of the grapevine a little more. And it won't give, it won't allow my bow to be hidden behind the florals. Okay? So here it is. I'm just going to take a zip tie and I'm going to weave it through the grapevine. Okay, and I'm just going to zip tie it down. Now look, I want the head of my zip tie to be either on the side or on the front. I do not want it to be in the back. It may cause some of my elements to stop. Hang on just a minute. Let me see what I did with my needle nose pliers. I had them here. Here they are. I don't want it to stop any elements that I choose to put in. All right, so there it is, very tightly put in, and this is what I'm going to put my bow in. Okay, so let's make our bow very quickly. Oh, I forgot to show you something. You can choose, which I normally do. I was getting ready to skip that step. Oh, I'm glad you were able to catch me too, Tracy. Hi, Enchanted Vines. How are you, sweetie? So good to see you. Florida is in the house, and I certainly hope you are doing good over there in the Florida area. I'm in North Carolina, and we are getting ready to get pounded. In fact, we've already had some rain due to the hurricane. Let me figure out where I put my U-pins. Hang on one second. Where are they? Well, isn't that something? I had them here. Oh, here they are, right here in front of me. Make sure you stay safe. All right, so to cover this up, I'm just going to pull out a little bit of green moss. You don't have to use a lot, right? Just a little teeny bit of green moss. And I'm just going to lay it on top of this. And I'm going to use a U-pin or two. And I'm going to cover this styrofoam up. This is a professional way to finish things off, which we always want to make sure we do the best job possible, right? You can find U-pins at any craft store normally, Walmart's, Joann's, Michael's. There we go. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to give it a little haircut. Just going to trim down some of this right here, so it looks nice and even. Okay. Now, as you can see, I did not cover all of it up, but enough to where if somebody looks closely, they won't actually see the styrofoam. Okay, let's get this cleaned up. Y'all don't think I'm putting it on the floor. I have a trash can right here. It's going right in there. All right. So we're going to make a bow. And I am going to begin with my 2.5 inch. Right? I'm going to think about how long I want my ribbon tails to be. And we're going to start out at maybe 14 inches. right? And I'm going to pinch and pleat, just like that right there, in between my two fingers. I'm going to probably do a 6-inch bow. So if you were hand tying and measuring, you're going to measure out 12 inches. I'm going to bring that behind. I'm pinching and pleating and twisting. Okay, let's see. That's going to be perfect. I'm going to make another 12-inch bow. 6-inch loop. And I am measuring 12 inches out on my table. I'm going to pinch, pleat, and twist. Okay, we're going to do another 12 inches. If you are using an easy bow maker, you're going to measure out a 6-inch loop. And one more. So I'm doing 4 loops on this. Pinching and pleating. I'm going to measure out another 14 inches and cut. And that's what we have so far. All right. My next ribbon, I think I'm going to come in with the green. I'm going to measure 14 inches. And I'm going to pinch and pleat. I am tucking this in beside the other ribbon that I have. I'm going to measure out another 12 inches. Pinch, pleat, and twist. And one more. Pinch, pleat, and twisting. That twisting is so important because it helps your loops stand up. Okay, so don't forget about that twisting part, whether you're doing it by hand or you are using the Easy Bow Maker. All right, that's what we have. Now I'm going to come in with another one. This right here, this lace burlap is so pretty. It's natural. I think it works beautifully with fall. Get the packaging open. I'm going to use this one. See how pretty and lacy it is. All right. I'm going to measure out another 14 inches. I'm going to pinch and pleat. This time I'm going to measure out 10 inches. Nope, let's go 11. So we're going to make a 6.5-inch loop. So I'm pinching and pleating, twisting. I'm just repeating the process. Okay. We're going to do 4 loops of this one. Okay, and I'm going to cut. Now at this point, I want to move my loops around, so I'm going to get them in the right spots. That's what we have so far. And last but not least, I'm going to use one more piece. This ribbon, now I know this ribbon has been cut, so hang on one second. I'm going to put that to the side because I don't know if I have enough. One last time, I'm going to measure out 14 inches for my ribbon tail. I'm going to come in at 10 inches, which is a 5-inch loop. And I'm going to measure, cut the same. That's what we have. Very pretty, very fall looking. Make sure my tails are where I want them to go. I'm going to turn my hand over like I'm checking my watch. Okay, let me get a florist wire, I'm sorry. Like I'm checking my watch. I'm going to pick my pointer finger up. I'm going to tuck my florist wire right underneath my pointer finger. I'm going to wrap it around the middle of the bow and pull tightly. Make sure I, again, adjust my loops to where I want them to be. Okay, with my dominant hand, I'm going to pull away from me. With the hand that's holding my loops, I'm going to pull towards me. That's going to cause tension, and I'm going to twist as the tension is applied. Okay, and there we go. There's our bow. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Put this up. How are you all? Who is making fall designs at this point? Have you started yet? I'm going to dovetail these ends very quickly. I'm just folding the ribbon in half. The edges go together. I am cutting on a diagonal from the inside or the folded side outward to the edge. On the burlap lace, I'm just going to turn it under. Let's see. I'm just going to fold it under. Okay. All right. There we go. Let me pull you back up and we'll get started designing. Okay, there we go. Let me pull you in so you can see what I'm doing. All right, the first thing I want to do is I want to put my bow right here. Okay, now you might ask, how am I going to get it in the styrofoam? I'm not going to wrap it around the wreath, which I would never do. I'm going to twist out my florist wire, maybe 2 inches. Okay, I'm going to cut it off, just like that. Sorry, just like that right there. I'm going to fold it, fold the florist wire over like I have right here. Just like that right there. And I'm going to put a still pick on it. Okay, that's what we have. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little hot glue on it. Need to turn my hot glue up. I'm going to put a little hot glue on it, and then I'm going to stick it right in to the styrofoam. Just like that right there. And I'm going to adjust my loops and my ribbon tails. Sorry for stepping in front of you. There we go. That's what we have so far. Okay, just like that. Let me pull you in a little bit so you can see. Just like that right there. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to come in and I want to start putting my greenery in. Okay, I'm going to build around it. I have some, this is, what doesn't have a name on it? This is seeded eucalyptus leaf or stems. And I'm just going to cut it down, right, to give me a couple of pieces. At this point, what you want to do is, now that we have our bow in, we want to go in and make our form. In other words, shape the outline of our wreath. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to use steel picks. If you do not have a steel pick machine, you can always use a floral wooden pick. Okay, I'm going to begin. I'm going to come in here and I'm putting it behind the bow. Okay. Let's turn this one down. What you do to one side, you always do to the other. So I need to come in here and put this one on this side. Just like that right there. Okay. Now I need to have some height. I'm going to incorporate some height right here. We come in and I'm going to put some height right back here. Let me cut this down there. That might be a little high, which it is. I'm going to cut it down just a hair. So when you're designing, you've got to remember your scale. You want everything to be scaled in the right way, or everything have the same proportion to it. If I can get this in the actual grapevine. There you go. Okay, so I've basically done a triangle right here, which is going to help. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to fill this area right here in. Okay, come in here and I'm going to put this one right here. Now, as you can see, again, I am building a shape. And I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this, because this outline is going to help me know where and how far I can and can't go out. Okay? So what that means, let me pull you in a little bit more. What that means is any elements that I put in this design, I don't want to go any further out than this right here. Any further out than this over here. So there's an imaginary line for me that lets me know stay within this line right here. Okay. Now we're going to drop it down a little bit. I'm going to come down a little bit more on both sides. What we always do to one side, we're going to do to the other. And that's what I'm continuing to do. I'm going to drop this down a little bit more right here. I'm filling this area in. There we go. Okay, I still have a couple more areas for holes, and holes are nothing more than an area where there is no color. Okay, I still have a couple more areas, but I want to keep going with something else. Now, the last thing, I have a little piece here. We don't want to forget about up underneath the bow. We still want to design underneath that bow a little bit, so it can be seen if the wind ever blows the ribbon tails. And I will fix these ribbon tails at the end. All right, we've got our basic outline done. Now I'm going to work on the focal floral, which is the hydrangeas. So I have this beautiful bush of fall hydrangeas, and looking at it, there's a couple of hydrangeas that are larger than the other ones. So the heads on these are right at 4.5 to 5 inches. Okay, these are large. And again, I want to think about scale and proportion. Okay, so I am going to take these smaller heads, and I'm just going to cut them off real quick, because I don't want really big heads. I want the color of these hydrangeas, but I don't want really big heads. These two were larger. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save these leaves, because that can be my third greenery that I'm going to use. It matches everything else perfectly. Sometimes I use leaves and sometimes I don't. I will use leaves on these. So I'm going to pull these off real quick. We're going to go in after we get our florals in and fill in with some hydrangea leaves. There we go. Now they'll be ready to put some still picks on, and we'll use these. Let's get these stems out of the way. Try to stay as organized as possible. That's challenging for me. How about you? Okay, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put some hydrangeas right here. I really want a hydrangea at the top. And I only have 3. I have more than 3, but right now I only have 3 that I have prepped. So I'm going to come right in here. And I'm going to put this hydrangea right here. Now, you see why I put a piece of styrofoam up at the top so my bow would stand out? That little extra piece of space right here gives it a nice lift. Sorry, let me pull you in a little more so you can see. Now, this is not directly in the middle. This is purposely off to one side. I don't want things matchy-matchy and straight. I'm going to come right up under here. And I'm going to stick this hydrangea right here. Okay. And I'm going to bring this hydrangea right here. You never want to put elements on the same plane. You want them on different planes because it creates so much more interest to the viewer who is looking at it. So although I'm going to put this hydrangea right here, I'm not going to put it right here. I'm going to put it up just a little bit so it is not on the same plane. Okay? There we go. Now looking at it, I need a little bit more of this color right over here. But these hydrangeas are so big, I don't want to use them. So I'm going to break them up, right? You can do this. So a hydrangea has all these stems right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to clip off some of these, almost like I'm dividing it in half. And then I'm going to put a still pick on it. And it's perfectly fine if you want to do this. Okay? I just need a little hydrangea, not a big one. We go right here. Okay? So I've cut it off. That's what I have. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put a still pick on these. Right? Just like that right there. I see a question. Oh, it's okay, sweetie. Don't worry about it. You're good. I'm going to put a little hot glue on this. And I'm going to come right in here and I'm putting it in the back. All right? Putting it in the back. Just like that. All right. Then I'm going to bring my color down a little bit more right here. I might do that in a minute. All right, so now I have my color evenly distributed throughout my design. Now I want to come in here and I want to throw in some filler flower. Okay? So I'm going to cut this up. This is going to add interest and texture. Now these are pushers, and I normally don't care for all the leaves on it. So I will take it off. I'm going to shape these, right? I'm going to take this leaf off. And again, I'm going to bend it a little bit and shape it. You just want to give it some movement, or you want to shape it to look like it's really in nature. Okay? I don't need these to be this long either. And one more. We'll see if I can use, if this is enough. All right. Now I want to come in here and I want to start throwing in some color. I'm going to go in between the two greeneries right here. This needs a still pick on it. These stems are too small for the grapevine. Okay. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to throw some right here. Now what we do to one side, we do to the other. Right over here, I'm going to come right down here. I'm going to throw some right there. Okay, I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to put some right here. Okay, I need some height right up here. I'm going to bring some up here. There we go. Let's do 2 or 3 more. See how the lighter color in this makes the colors pop? When you bring in white or light colors, it pulls the eye in first. I need a floral. Okay, we're going to drop it down just a little bit. In other words, we're going to bring our design on down. Well, I need to bend this one. These stems on these are very thin. There we go. Okay, I'm going to continue to bring my floral down. I'm going to put it right here. There we go. Got 2 more, 3 more. I'm going to hold off and wait. We're going to come in and throw some eucalyptus in now. Okay? Just to add different texture. All I'm doing is breaking this up. At least I think I am. I might change my mind. You never know, right? You never know, and it is perfectly fine to change your mind. Come in here and throw some of these in. Let me get the rest of this cut up. There we go. All right, I'm going to begin to pull some down through. Let me pull you back in so you can see. some eucalyptus right there. I'm going to bring some right here. At this point, I'm beginning to fill in again where some holes might be. I have a hole right here. So I'm going to come right in here and I'm going to add some color right here. Okay. We're going to jump up to the top. And I'm going to fill some more in right up here. In the back. Hang on one second. Let me reposition this. There we go. We are going to keep going. I have a hole right here. There's nothing right here. And I'm going to fill that in right there. Okay. We're going to come over here to this side. Throw some in right here. Again, I'm going to bring some down right here. Almost like it's falling out of the sides. Bend it down to where it comes down right. All right, for some reason, look at it on the camera. I feel like I need something right here for color. Let me see something real quick. Just to balance it out. You see where it needs to be balanced? It needs a little balance right here. Let's make sure this is balanced out right before I go any further. There we go, that's better. All right, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna throw some little leaves up here, maybe. Let's see. I need some more right over here. Fill in this area right here. All right, we're good for the moment. I always like to move on. Now, I have these right here. Very pretty. Let's see what this looks like. These will lighten even more. These are going to lighten this area up even more. Let me just test it. I really like it. I like the way it brightens things up. I don't need a whole lot of it. And just because you buy a bush doesn't mean you have to use all of it. But I love the brighter color that it pulls out. Completely fall. It also pulls out the color in this floral right here. There we go. All right, I think that's all I needed that. I want to come in and throw a little bit more greenery in. Just to add some texture. I'm thinking. Sorry, I'm not saying anything. I'm thinking. Thank you so much, Patty, for your sweet and kind comments. I do my best. Not always works out, but for the most part, the good Lord has given me an eye, and I am in my element. It's always nice when you can find out what your element is and then be able to work in it. But thank you. I certainly appreciate it. I'm wondering if I want some to come down here. Oh, and I do. Oh, that looks so pretty. All right, so I want this to curve a little bit, right? So I'm bending it, okay? Before I stick it in. And I'm gonna put it right up in here. And it bends down. See how it falls down? I know this thing keeps twisting, and if this thing doesn't cooperate, you just remove it. All right, let's keep going. Put a little bit more right here. I know it looks lopsided, it's just the way it's hanging on my hook. All right, what we do to one side, we're going to do to the other. So let's go over here and bend a little piece and see how it would look coming down. And it would look very pretty. So I'm going to come up in here. I'm throwing it right up in there. Okay. Now I'm going to take a little piece like I did over there on that side, and I'm going to put it right here also, just so it balances itself out. And the glue strings have decided to take over. All right, so I need a little bit of this to finish this off right up in here. Okay? Just need to put some right up in here just to make sure it looks evenly distributed, okay, throughout the design. Put a little bit more right there. It's looking pretty good. Just about finished, but we still have a couple of things left to do. All right, now I'm going to take some of these hydrangea leaves. I'm coming in here and I'm going to fill in some holes that I need to fill in just to finish it off. So I'm going to put some steel picks on each one of these. Again, if you don't have a steel pick, you can use a wooden floral pick. If you can do it without a steel pick or floral pick, that's perfectly fine also. So it is really good at the end to come in with a solid color in the back to make your designs on top of it pop. What we do to one side, we do to the other diagonally. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to come in here and put some right here. Just in the back behind it. There's something about that solid color behind it. Now I need one right here that helps your design pop at the end. And this is if you want to do it. You don't have to do it. But why not use the leaves that came with it? Now, like I said, I don't always use the leaves. I'm not a big leaf kind of person on the florals, but this, in this instant, the color of the leaf is perfect. It matches this perfectly. All right, so this hydrangea leaf wants to fall backwards, as you can see. So I'm going to get one that's a little straighter that won't fall back as much, because I need this thing standing up. Matter of fact, I think what I'm going to do is put a wooden floral pick on it to make it stand up a little more. So I have my stem, right? I'm going to take the wooden floral pick and I'm going to put it up against each other. And there's a little piece of copper wire that is on the floral pick. And I'm going to wrap it around and down the stem and then back up. And that's what I end up with. Then I'm going to take some green floral tape. I'm going to pull it a little bit and I'm going to wrap it around that green floral pick. And I'm going to go down And then I'm going to come back up and I'm going to pull it. Okay? And that's what you end up with. Your wooden floral pick. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is I want this leaf to be a little higher than if I just did it with a still pick, right? So this is going to give me some height. You get it down in there. There we go. There we go. Just like that. Okay. Now let me look at it. Hang on one second. I want to see if there's one more spot, like right there. And I think there is. So remember, I'm trying to keep my shape, right? Trying to keep my shape. I want my shape to be the same. So in the back of your mind, you're thinking to yourself, make sure you stay in your outline, right? Now, I have a little hole that I want to fill in. And again, I'm going to put a wooden floral pick. Right here is the hole. And I'm going to be able to fill that in with this hydrangea leaf right here. I'm going to come right in here and put it right down in here. There we go. Now, like I said, a hole is no more than a place where there is no color. Now there's color there. Okay? All right, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I have one more little area that I want to contend with. But I'm sorry I'm standing in front of y'all. So sorry. Let's see. I think it's right here. Pretty sure that's where it is. There we go. Hang on. Let me pull this out just a little bit. That little yellow or red piece needs to go back down just a hair. There we go. Just like that. All right, I think that looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. Now, let's finish up our ribbon tails, okay? Let's get our bow looking good. Okay, I am going to cut these ribbon tails back just a little bit. I'm just going to curve this one. Cut this green one back just a hair. Give it a good trim. There we go. That looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. All right, so let's go back over this. The reason why, if you're catching us late, I put a piece of styrofoam behind the bow and then attached the bow to it. And the reason why is these floral heads, these hydrangea floral heads were quite big. And I decided that I didn't want my bow to get lost. And when you do that, the bow does not get lost. It stands out even more. But let me bring it towards you. And here it is. There it is right there. So very pretty. Let me get it to where you can see it. Really, really nice and pretty. Very fall floral festive looking. All right. Okay, thank y'all so much for joining me today. Again, if you're joining me late, I am Laurie, the community manager and a design coach in Southern Charm Wreaths community. We want to thank you for joining us as always. Please feel free to jump over to Southern Charm Wreath on our Facebook page or website. We have a wonderful community of like-minded wreath makers who are there. Consider, if you like this or any other tutorials that you see, please consider joining us in our Wreath of the Month Club group. It is a private group that is very full of talented, very supportive ladies and gentlemen who love the art of wreath making, and we would love to have you there. I would also like to let you know that next week, starting August 12th, Southern Charm Wreaths will be hosting a fall swag masterclass. And if you have ever wanted or considered making a swag, but you're not quite sure how, you don't know where to put things in the swag, you're not sure how to keep the shape, please feel free to jump over and join us in that fall swag masterclass, again by Southern Charm Wreaths. You can find out more details at southerncharmwreaths.com. Okay? Thank you for joining me. I hope y'all have a great day. Take care of yourself. As always, be a blessing to somebody else. And y'all be blessed. I'll see you soon. Bye.